Once upon a time, in an ancient church in a peaceful village, there was a priest named Matthew, a man known for his deep devotion and unshakable faith. For years, he had guided his parishioners with wisdom and love, always reminding them that no matter how difficult life became, God had a plan for each of them. His sermons reassured the villagers that as long as they had faith, they would never be abandoned. One year, as the rainy season began, dark clouds gathered over the horizon. At first, the rain was a welcome blessing, nourishing the fields and filling the wells. But soon the gentle showers turned into relentless downpours. The river, once calm and life-giving, swelled with a furious current. One evening, after days of endless rain, the river finally broke free. The villagers panicked. Families grabbed what little they could carry and rushed toward higher ground. People screamed warnings as the floodwaters invaded their homes. In the midst of the chaos, a man ran into the church, his clothes soaked through, his breath ragged. He looked at Father Matthew, who remained at the altar, deep in prayer. "Father Matthew, we must leave now. The river is rising too fast. The whole village is evacuating. If you stay here, you'll be trapped. Please come with us before it's too late." Father Matthew turned to him with a calm, reassuring smile. "Go, my son. Save yourself and your family. I will remain here. I trust in the Lord. He has a plan for me, and He will save me." Hours passed, and the water continued to rise. The once grand church was now half submerged, its wooden pews floating like forgotten relics. Father Matthew climbed onto the altar, the water lapping at his feet. Yet his faith did not waver. He remained deep in prayer, trusting that God would not forsake him. Then, through the open church doors, a boat appeared, its oars slicing through the flood. A fisherman, struggling against the current, called out to him, "Father, get in the boat. The water is rising too fast. If you don't leave now, the church will be completely underwater." But Father Matthew shook his head, his expression peaceful. "No, my child, I do not need a boat. I trust in the Lord. He will come to save me." Seeing that Father Matthew would not budge, the boatman turned away, disappearing into the storm to search for others in need. As night fell, the storm showed no mercy. The floodwaters had swallowed the lower levels of the church, forcing Father Matthew to climb onto the roof, clinging to the bell tower as wind and rain lashed against him. Luckily, the rescuers had spotted him. A rope ladder was lowered, and a rescue worker called through a megaphone, "Father Matthew, grab the ladder. This is your last chance. We need to get you out of here." Once again, the priest refused. His voice, though weak from exhaustion, remained steady. "Go and save others, my child. I trust in the Lord. He has a plan for me. He will come to save me." With heavy hearts, the rescue team turned the helicopter away. The storm raged on. The floodwaters finally engulfed the entire church, and Father Matthew was swept away. When his soul reached heaven, he stood before God himself, his heart filled with sorrow and confusion. With tears in his eyes, he looked up at the Almighty and said, "Lord, I served you all my life. I preached your word. I trusted you completely. I prayed, and I waited for you to save me. But you never came. Why did you abandon me?" God smiled gently, placing his hand on the priest's shoulder. "My son, I did come to save you. I sent a villager to warn you. I sent a boat. I sent a helicopter. But you did not recognize my plan." Father Matthew was speechless. His mind replayed each moment, the warning, the boat, the helicopter. He had been so certain that God would come in a great, miraculous way that he had failed to see the very real opportunities God had placed before him. Now that he understood, he covered his face and cried. How many times in life do we pray for help, yet fail to recognize the ways God is already working? We expect a grand miracle, but God often answers through ordinary moments, through people, opportunities, and even struggles. Maybe God won't pull you out of the storm immediately, but He will send you a boat. Maybe He won't make your problems disappear, but He will give you the strength to overcome them. The question is, do you trust Him enough to recognize His plan? God's plan may not always look the way you expect, but it is always there. So when He reaches out His hand, take it, because He never abandons you.